Thomas Pocklington Trust. New tech, hands-on. In February 2022, Samsung held their Unpacked event. This event mainly focused on the release of the Galaxy S22 Ultra smartphone, along with the rest of the S22 phone lineup. However, they also announced something a little bit more ultra-sized. Yes, we're talking about the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, a massive 14.6-inch Android tablet. You might be wondering, why is such a large screen so important? Well, in this video, we want to take the opportunity to show how a large 14.6-inch display can be really beneficial for accessibility. I'm Peter Hayton, and together, let's take a look at the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. So, there is also the Galaxy Tab S8 and S8 Plus models that came along with this, but of what we've seen, I think the Ultra is the most interesting of all of these devices. It's unique in that it features a 14.6-inch display. That's very large, and one of the biggest we've seen from an Android tablet. The thing that's most interesting by it is what it offers up in terms of possibility. So again, talking about that low vision type of use case, if we look at the magnification areas of this screen, then it's possible to activate the standard Android system level magnification software. But as some of you may be able to see on the screen, what's going on as we zoom in, the icons, we're able to fit so much more on the screen at a large size than what we could on regular tablets. And I think that is something that is really intriguing. Now, if we talk about that, then we can talk about the S Pen that you can also get with these devices. And when we're talking about the S Pen, it's useful to consider the context here. If you're looking at an education type environment, such as in a classroom, then the S Pen might come in really useful for using as a large interactive whiteboard display or a way to produce your own work, handwritten. Now, Samsung Notes is a really interesting application for this use because it also provides the ability to export your work as PDFs. And on the screen, I'm showing the ability to create a simple mathematical style note and then to be able to export it and see that out there in a file such as a Google Drive document. They're really interesting opportunities and things which I think could significantly impact on how people go about their day-to-day lives in this way. But don't worry about the size. One of the things you might think with a tablet this big is that it will be really cumbersome to carry around. And to an extent, it's true. I will say that catching the home button is something that is possible because the bezels at 6mm are very, very thin. However, using Android's gesture controls can help solve that problem. The device is very thin, and that means that it's actually surprisingly lightweight to hold in the hand. The back of the device is a solid sheet of metal, and it feels very premium and high-end in the hand, which backs up the price tag of £999. That sounds quite expensive, but when you consider the possibilities of this device, it's not too bad. And especially when you put it into context with the price points of the iPad, etc., that come up, the iPad Pro in this same category, that cost around the same. Now, these are all really interesting, and I think it'll be great to see what happens after all of this hits the market, and we'll be able to see even more how these are working. There is a keyboard accessory that goes with the Tab S8 lineup. However, at the time of filming, we weren't able to go hands-on with those at this moment in time. But do bear in mind, when they're connected, you are able to use Samsung's DeX mode to be able to get a more desktop-like experience from the tablet at this time. So this wraps up our hands-on coverage of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. I really hope that you've been able to find it useful. And do go ahead and check out our companion video on the Galaxy S22 Ultra smartphone if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and I really hope that it's been able to help show how mainstream technology can substantially improve the accessibility of the world for visually impaired people.